Salut. This is mine now.
Okay, go ahead.
I am... What do you say? I'm Bella, and this is...
You leave me hanging just like that.
No, I always say me. So I built this, how do you say, townhouse?
How do you say? Why would I say that?
It's inspired by the European era of 1920 to 1923.
This is your impression of me?
Yeah, absolutely. This is so on point. I'm very sure the viewers could not tell it wasn't you.
Okay.
Okay, fine. You go. You tell them why there's two different versions of it. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have
sit here and slurp my hot chocolate.
We haven't gotten to that part yet. I'm sorry.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Take two. You go ahead. You do you.
Okay. I'm very glad you're here.
Thanks.
And I was inspired to build this by a dollhouse that I saw online, and it looks nothing like what the dollhouse looks like.
Hold on. Why were you looking at dollhouses online?
That's just what is being suggested to me by now, I guess.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
What's so weird about dollhouses?
No, it's just I've never in my life been suggested a dollhouse by Google.
Yeah, maybe
so
you should think about your internet history.
Oh, I do, and I'm now very happy that's not dollhouses, so...
What are they suggesting to you?
It's mostly tech.
Well, okay.
Yeah, okay, I'm boring. I don't know what did you think it was gonna be? Like drugs? Weaponry?
Yeah, so I am using a lot of Alexandre CC for this build. And I think my favorite part of this build, or the exterior at least, might be the front stairs. They're really fun. But you might have been wondering, if you've already checked out the Patreon post for this, why there's 2 download files. And that's because what I'm gonna build in a few seconds is this cute little way of decorating the stairs. But yeah, with that trim is the Schwerin trim by Alexandre, and I think he made that in the very beginning of his CC creating career. And the footprint is completely off, so it's huge, and your Sims can't walk past it. So as long as that's there, your Sims can't get up these stairs. And because it's in front of those windows, not yet, but I'm gonna put it in front of those windows in a second, those front rooms are rendered unusable. So there's a third guest bathroom down there, and then just an entryway that has a fireplace. And I'm also using it up here next to that chimney, and there's the children's bathroom's shower.
Right.
So those things are not functional if you download this version of the build. So I've made a second one where you can use all those things. They're not really necessary, which is why I decided to still leave this version up as it is.
So this
because there's also a back entrance, so you don't really need the front entrance. You don't need that guest bathroom. You don't need that fireplace.
Right, but you're not gonna play in this and then not be able to use half the house, right?
Half the house? That's definitely not.
Well,
half
the
it's just decorative place. I mean, almost any sitting room or living room without a TV is not usable in The Sims.
Right.
It's kind of. I thought I would use this one because I give a damn about looks.
Right.
But if you don't mind that much and you'd still want to play in this, I've made that other version that doesn't have those trims.
Do you think this is something that is fixable by EA?
No. Okay. No. He would have to fix that.
Oh, okay. Do you think he's gonna?
No, they're very old.
Okay.
It's my favorite trim, sadly.
Okay.
And as I said, I think we're gonna see that in a second. I really like how those stairs came out. I think it just looks so much better. I don't know why there's not more stair decorating options. Or like, I feel
What
like
if-
there's too little to do with
what
like
if
foundations.
We take this trim, redo it, resize the footprint, and then we send it to him, and then he can repost it.
I don't think he'd be too happy about that. I don't know. I think
Really?
he would. Yeah.
Why?
It also usually usually it doesn't matter because they're supposed to be at the top of a level, basically on the
Right,
outside.
right.
It's a trim that would go up there, and just because I'm using it down here where the Sims are actually walking, that's why it's a problem.
Okay.
So it's not usually a problem, but
Why is there like a railing in the wall?
oh, that's just the Sims.
Is that gonna stay there?
I know, it bothers me too.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with the railings. Has it always been like this? I feel like it got worse.
Well, you're definitely
lately.
asking the wrong people. Sorry, the wrong person. Me.
So yeah, that's also kind of why I put those trims there, because I thought it was just nice to hide it. But yeah, I guess you can live with it. I hope so, at least.
I was just trying to fish out a marshmallow out of my hot chocolate, and it did not work, and now I'm really frustrated.
Okay.
It was a horrible day. Horrible day. So, is this building is this a house for like a family, or what were you thinking?
Okay. I've put in a kids room that has 2 kids' beds.
Right?
So I'd say there's probably 2 kids living in here.
It's like Kevin Home Alone, but it's like Kevin and his older brother George.
I think Kevin has like 8 siblings. Oh no, that's his cut right there.
Oh,
His
I don't
cousins come
remember.
for Christmas or something.
This is a topic
It's definitely
we should not touch. I
a
don't-
big family. It's not 2 kids.
Right, but he was
like
the
10
only
in
one who
here.
was left, right?
Yeah, but all alone. There's also adults in this house.
Oh, okay. So that's.
I just
that's
wasn't
boring.
finished with the sentence.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, so there's 2 kids' bedrooms in this, and then there's 1 adult bedroom. And the inside is quite traditional, a little rustic maybe, I'd say. But I'd say elevated rustic, because you can see me put in all this architectural detail and those nice like glass additions on the side. So I was kind of thinking that maybe
It's a lesbian couple.
I thought maybe it was grandparents who.
Who would sometimes watch the kids.
Yeah, but it's a cluttered, and the kids' bedroom just, I feel like, doesn't look like it's a vacation bedroom.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And also this whole
Maybe they
top-
adopted the children.
Yeah, I thought
Because
maybe
the parents died horribly.
Okay.
Oh, well,
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really have to be grandparents. This doesn't look particularly grandparency. I'd say.
Like some things do.
Yeah. It could also just be a family with 2 kids. But yeah, that's kind of what I thought. But you can obviously make of it whatever you want.
I feel like it's only 2 kids, and they inherited this building. They were like 9 and
2
12.
kids with a formal dining room.
Yeah, no, that's the whole fun setup. Okay, so you have these 2 kids. They inherited this huge building in the middle of some European city.
This is Bridechester.
Bridechester, my bad. And they have a butler who is
Oh, interesting take.
right. They have of course they have a butler, and so they just live there with the butler, and it's just a fun setup for a sitcom.
That's nice.
There you go. You're
I
welcome.
like it. That would also explain why this huge balcony up top. Oh, is that a roof terrace? That wouldn't be a balcony, would it? I'm not sure. So that huge open area up there is completely full with like a kid's paradise. But that's what I think. Maybe I was just a weird kid. I'm not sure. They have a little kiddie pool kind of thing, but it's wood, so hello.
Hello.
And then they have a dollhouse. Oh, there's the dollhouse again.
Mm.
And then they just have a cool chill out area on the roof thing.
Right. And it's like one of those things where like Child Protective Services doesn't know that there is not parents in there, and then they always have to hide it, and they like get up and put a big coat on themselves, and they pretend like they're one adult-sized person.
But what about the butler?
the butler is another 2 kids. Pretending to be an adult-sized person.
But an adult-sized butler this time.
No, the butler made the promise to the parents to keep this a secret and to keep the kids safe. So that's why the butler is in on it. And also, I don't know. Listen, if any butlers are watching, I don't know how butlery works.
Butlery?
But I feel like butlers usually don't do anything. They don't really have, like, do they have their own? You see, this was a thing, right? Like back in like England, like a couple.
Are you asking if butlers
have their own lives? Yes. Do they?
I think so. I'm actually quite sure they're humans.
What? Mm-hmm. No, but I'm thinking about like butlers back in the day. You know,
you obviously haven't watched enough period dramas. I can tell.
Yes.
And
that's definitely the case.
Oh, they did. Of course they had their own lives.
But weren't they like...
You had free time. Like, you would live in this household, but you still had, I don't know, a day, a week off or something.
Okay. But yeah, like,
and you'd
a day
obviously
is not
still
much.
have friends in that. Yeah, but, I mean, those were kind of the times.
Would your friends also all be butlers? Is it like a community of butlers?
This is really weirard. I don't know. This
really
feels a little classist.
No, okay. I'm not trying to offend anyone. If you're a butler, that's awesome. I just want to know how the life works.
I'm actually not so sure if that profession or how much of that profession still exists. I feel like it must somehow.
Yeah, Trump definitely has a butler. Come on.
But is that? Yeah. I mean, I guess today it's just an assistant.
Right, you say it's different, but it's the same thing.
And I think you rarely have people living with you nowadays. Although I have no idea how it works for like rich people.
Like housekeepers sometimes. I think I think that's still a thing. And like people who take care of children, they also sometimes live with the family.
That's a nanny though, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we're not rich enough to know these things. There's the wood pool. I like it.
Yeah, it's
it actually
fun.
looks like a jacuzzi.
It kind of does. So this whole top floor is the kids' area.
Right. That's why there's a huge dollhouse there and it looks like Harry Potter.
Yes. And so in my original story, I thought these people probably had like a guest house up top. Not a guest house, but a guest floor.
Right.
And then they remodeled it to be for those kids because I thought they were not their kids, but their grandkids or something else. But now this is all like, nothing makes sense anymore because it's just this butler now.
No, I'm gonna remodel this whole story. So it's 3 kids. One is 12, one is 9, and one is like 3. So both kids really struggle to take care of the small one, and he always tries to climb off like the balcony, and the butler has to take care of all of them.
Wait, where's the butler? I thought it's just 3 kids.
No, there is a butler.
Yeah, okay.
There's still a butler. It's still large enough for 3 kids and a butler.
It has beds for 2 kids and
right, but,
a double bed.
But it's basically a baby. It doesn't need a bed.
I don't know. I'm really glad you don't have children yet because that's no.
They don't need beds. Come on. I've got a bathtub for that, or a microwave for that matter.
Oh my gosh. So, okay. I mean, you're gonna see the interior in a second, and maybe you're gonna have to rethink your story a little bit.
Or you have to redo your interior a little bit. How about that?
I guess so.
You should always convene with me before you build these things, because I have the story lined up. I have it written down.
You have this written down?
Yeah.
Where?
This is a screenplay.
I
literally have a tattoo of it on my back.
Did you write this whole sitcom that you were talking about?
I did.
I would watch it.
You know what it's gonna be called? It's gonna be called 3 and 3, just 3.
I don't know if that's so catchy.
I was gonna do like 3.5 men, but it's like 3.5 children. But then the butler is not really a half child, so it didn't make any sense.
Yeah, it really didn't.
So I was gonna be like 3 and a double children, but that also didn't really make sense.
A double children?
Because I felt like butler is like an adult person is kind of like 2 children worth, right?
Worth?
Well, okay.
This is just getting worse. I don't know if this is something you should.
This is gonna be a real weird episode.
Episode of your comedy show. So this is kids' bedroom. So this is the kids' floor, okay? So there's 2 kids' bed. I'm just trying to get this straight for you.
Yes.
Okay, so this is where the 2 actual kids that behave like kids live, right? And this is their bathroom. Is that something? I feel like in American houses and in a lot of Sims houses, I guess, there's often separate bathrooms or like en suites for kids.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
When I lived in the US,
ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine having your own bathroom. I mean,
did.
I guess you
I did.
can imagine. I can't.
I did have my own bathroom, and
I think
both the kids also
in New
did.
York, no one has their own bathroom.
Yeah, that's yeah. You have like a.
You don't even have a shared bathroom. you share it with the whole city.
Yeah, no, it's a thing, and I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, if you've got the space,
Right.
why not?
And you like
cool.
bathrooms? Come on.
I really like Is that a recurring theme?
Yeah, it's also very weird. We've talked about this.
Oh, come on.
See, okay, I gotta say something about The Sims. I don't know if this custom content, but I really like the children's beds. Although
Yeah, that is
they
custom
don't,
content.
they don't really look like proportional. They look a little long for how wide they are, but I think they look really
I
cool.
think children's beds are also 2 meters long, and they're basically single beds, right?
No, I don't think so.
I think, like, yeah, for toddlers or whatever, they're not.
They don't need beds. I'm gonna say this again.
But you're not gonna switch out that bed all the time. I think a normal, like,
this looks like a
usual...
casket.
What?
Okay, it does.
It doesn't. I think a normal child's bed is just a single bed.
Okay, you know what? Let's agree to disagree. I want to say something about The Sims though. I feel like what I really appreciate is the update with the
platforms?
The platforms where you could raise the ground. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That adds a lot.
Kind of game changing.
It adds way more than I thought it would.
Yeah. Also, platforms are so cool, especially in children's bedrooms. I feel like I'm just not reliving. I'm just living all my childhood dreams through The Sims.
So trip all the time on it.
My uncle is a
child on a platform.
A child butler. He is a carpenter.
Yeah.
And he built one of those for a local child care thing. He built basically exactly that platform thing. That's where I got that idea, and it's so fun.
They were like, man, we have some money left over. We have a surplus of last year. Let's get ourselves a platform.
It's so unnecessary, you know. It doesn't really add anything. It's just.
But
it
adds a lot of
it's a woody
dimensionality
bump
to the
in the floor.
Right, but it adds a lot of dimensionality.
And also, it's just so fun for kids to be a little higher up than they usually are.
Because they're small. They're small people.
Yeah, they are. That's fine.
It's fine. But it's a little weird, and now they're not anymore.
So these 2 children do share that room. I think that's fine,
like
right?
some poor people.
I thought they probably really like each other. I imagined a great relationship between those kids. I mean, if they live here on their own,
they're running a house together.
Yeah, then they should.
They're paying taxes. They're probably not paying taxes.
No, they have to pay taxes, or the power will be shut off. And the water and stuff.
That's right. Maybe. Oh my God, this is.
Also, one of them is a scout. Is that what they're called?
A Boy Scout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Girl Scout.
They can explore Brightchester and.
See, okay, I feel like.
And also, one of them plays the piano, I guess.
Maybe the butler does.
Wait, is the butler also 2 children in a trench coat?
No,
not anymore.
No.
Okay.
That doesn't make any sense.
He's
like really old, and he takes forever to get to the house.
And he doesn't know the children are there because he can't see properly.
So he thinks oh my God, he thinks the whole family is still alive or still around.
No,
and then it's only the 2 children, and then he always talks to them, and the children just always pretend like their parents are there.
This just got really weird and creepy.
No, this is good. This is real good. I'm gonna start my own YouTube channel just about the sitcom. How about that?
How about that?
I want to say something. We might have talked about this before. I can't quite recall, but I think the children's rooms in your builds are always the best.
Thank you so. Wait, the best out of all the rooms?
Yeah, by far.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe it's because I'm still somewhat of a child inside, and I just can relate to having that kind of room, and that's amazing. But I also just feel like, you can get away with putting a lot more clutter in a child's room, and that just makes it so much more lively.
Yeah.
And also they're so colorful, and I like
Wait,
that.
are you also living your childhood dream through my Sims builds? Just as I am?
I don't know if I would put it like that, but if you wish, yes.
Maybe you should talk to your therapist about this.
Okay, maybe you should talk to my therapist about this.
I guess. I really wish we had. I know this is probably something I would never be satisfied with, but I wish we had more activities for the Sims, like to put in. I feel like, for example, board games and card games and games in general are such a big part of my daily life and what I do with my friends and my family when we meet up. I don't know if that's a me specific thing.
No,
but
I think especially like right now, I've actually recently looked at like there's a board game simulator that you can buy. And I think the sales have really been going up because people miss playing board games during the pandemic, and that's, I think, no, board games are awesome, and I don't think they would ever like be replaced with video games and all.
Yeah, definitely. So I know there's that Don't Wake the Llama kids game table. I don't even know if adults can use that. It's just a thing in The Sims. I just wish there was like a card deck or a board game or
Poker night. That could be the name of the expansion, and then you could have like urban but like illegal poker matches in the basement of your Sims home. That would be awesome.
I'm pretty sure there's a mod for that.
I'm gonna reach out. If not, we should make it. That would be awesome. And you could like actually play the rounds. That would be kind of cool.
Like a mini game.
So, you want to hear some nice things about card games?
You've got some nice things about card games? You've got like facts?
I have facts about card games.
That's incredible. Hit me. I'm all ears.
So, basically,
wait, on our last video, somebody said they came for the mill house and stayed for the mill facts. That made my day.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, by the way, thank you so much for your very nice and kind and lovely feedback. Really enjoyed that. So yeah, go ahead.
Facts about card games.
Yeah.
There are actually multiple card games that you can play.
No way.
Yeah.
With like one deck of cards.
Not at the same time usually, but like you could.
Okay.
So actually, what I wanted to get at, that there is a funny statistics that I read the other day, and it was about how many combinations there are to a card deck, which is usually like 52 cards, right? And
usually.
Well, if you didn't lose any of them, which you always do, because that's just what you do. And so basically, you might have heard of this before, but every time you shuffle a card deck, it's in a position that if you thoroughly shuffle it, of course, it's going to be in a position that has probably never been in before.
Right, because they actually all start out in the same order, right? I'm pretty sure I've heard that in some magic shows that cards in a deck are always in the same order.
Right. So.
Which is not from lowest to highest, by the way. It's some other order, yeah. But it's interesting. But yeah, okay, go on, sorry.
Do you know why it is like that?
No.
Okay. Great thing. Good fact. So yeah, it's gonna be in a new order every time. Obviously that's statistical. And here someone wrote an essay about how big the number of combinations actually is.
What is it? Can you tell me the number?
So it is 52 factorial.
Makes sense because it's 52 cards.
To everyone who doesn't know what factorial is, it's basically just taking the product of every number below the one you are at. So 10 factorial is like 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 and so forth. So it's a huge number. 52 factorial is an immensely large number. And somebody wrote an essay to visualize how large that number is. And I'm gonna try to just kind of sum up the thoughts in the essay. But it is, so we're putting up a stopwatch that is on 52 factorial seconds, and it's gonna count down until 0.
So just so I can better imagine how big that number is?
Right, okay. So you're gonna pick your favorite spot on the equator and then walk around it. But you're gonna only take one step every billion years, which is already another...
I'm gonna walk around the whole Earth?
Yes. Very leisurely.
With one step every billion years.
Billion years, which is
I'm
already
pretty sure
an unfathomable number. So, yeah. You walk around the Earth and then do it 1 billion years per step. And then, once you get around the globe, you remove 1 drop of water from the Pacific Ocean
So
each time you circle.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then, when the ocean is empty, you place 1 sheet of paper on the Earth. And you fill up...
Wait, so before the ocean is empty, I'm always gonna have to walk around the Earth.
Right, you repeat the cycle.
At a step a billion years.
Right, and take
every
a drop
time.
out every time.
And I don't have anything to back this up, but I think there's quite a lot of drops of water in the oceans. Is that right?
I don't actually know how much a drop is, but I think a drop is very little. So yeah, there's a lot of drops in the ocean. Now, then you put a sheet of paper on the Earth.
When I've done what with the rice again?
When the ocean is empty.
Oh.
Right? And then you fill the ocean back up and you do the whole process again.
Okay.
All of it, right? And then
I've got the time.
When the stack of paper reaches from the Earth to the sun and you look at the timer.
So wait, to put on another piece of paper, I'm always gonna have to refill the ocean, walk around the Earth, refill the ocean, re-empty the ocean, refill the ocean.
Yes. And now the clock has barely changed. You've barely made a dent in the amount of time that's left.
That is incredible.
So to pass you could do this over and over again, and if you do it 1,000 more times, I think, you'll have like 1/3 of the way. You'll be 1/3 of the way through, which is already a long time, mind you. And yeah, so here's another thing to pass the remaining time that you have left. You're gonna take your deck of cards, and every billion years you're gonna deal yourself a 5-card hand of poker. And every time you get a royal flush, which only happens every 650,000 hands, mind you, you will buy a lottery ticket, and every time that ticket wins the jackpot, you will throw a grain of sand into the Grand Canyon.
Oh, there's the sand.
There's the sand. And when you filled up the Grand Canyon with sand, you will remove 1 ounce of rock from Mount Everest. And then you will just repeat that process until the Mount Everest is completely gone. And when it is, there's still a whole lot of time left, and you have to repeat that process 256 times until the timer reaches 0. Which, yeah, that's pretty much how big the number 52 factorial is. I thought that was really funny, and there's Vsauce made it really funny about visualizing that, and you should watch it. It's really cool. Yeah. Yeah,
luckily the Sims team would not have to deal with that sort of thing, I hope.
I also hope so.
But yeah, think about that next time you play cards.
Yeah, shuffle the cards and just know that no one else has ever seen a deck of cards in that order that you just put them in.
If you shuffle a well, which is probably like, what is it, 7 times?
Yeah,
is a well shuffled deck?
7-time pass, yeah.
Also probably not if you shuffle your cards the way I shuffle my cards.
Which is horrible.
Hey!
Okay.
Which is, I take one from the top and I take one from the bottom, and then...
You put them together and you repeat.
And then a few of those get mixed up in between.
Right. No, if you like actually randomly shuffle them.
So throw them on the floor and mix them up real good.
To give you another quick fact about 52 factorial, the number of particles in the universe currently estimated is at about like 3 times 10 to the power of 80, which is already a lot of particles. Obviously, we're counting electrons, protons, whatever, any kind of particle, in the whole universe, or in the observable universe. And 59 factorial equals about that.
Oh my god.
So 52 factorial already really high. It's like to the power of 67 or something.
Crazy.
But like, of course, it's exponential growth, so it just gets more and more, which is really crazy.
Math is really cool.
Yeah, and exponential growth is really cool. Another quick fact a little fun fact to imagine exponential growth. If you had a sheet of paper and you folded it 100 times, how large do you think it would be? So, obviously, given that question, you'd always think it's some kind of gotcha, and you'd be like, it's probably as tall as a building.
No, I when I heard this the first time, I would have said it would reach to the moon from the Earth, the surface of
Right.
the Earth to the moon. That's what I would have
But
guessed.
I think that's also you take that guess because you're assuming this question is some kind of gotcha, because it is very not
because-
intuitive at all.
I think that is kind of intuitive. I think
Really?
yeah, towards the moon.
I would
Like
have
that would make sense
the
to me.
distance to the moon is so
Yeah, but
so
that's a
large.
lot. Okay, come on, just tell me
Okay,
what the
yeah,
real thing
it's
is.
more than it's wider than the observable universe, so more than 93 billion light years.
And see, now it feels like a gotcha.
It is a gotcha. You know, it's actually about like 40 times I think to get to the moon.
Okay.
So, and if you fold it like 10 times or whatever, it's actually not that much.
Yeah.
It's like, I think if you fold it 4 or 5 times, it's about the size of like a book, the thickness of like a normal book. And then at 103, you will reach the observable universe. That's pretty crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
It does make a lot of sense.
It does, but it's also really crazy.
It just doesn't feel
It's just
understandable.
not, yeah, it's not intuitive at all. But that's exponential growth because you double the width every time. If that was unclear.
Pretty cool.
Right? Okay, that's all. That's all I got.
Okay, we're also nearly at the end of this speedball. That time passed way quicker than 52 factorial seconds.
I hope it did.
Oh yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this. I also know that I'm seeing this right now. This was a really exhausting way to clutter up this little piece of furniture, which I love, by the way. It's from Harry's country set and it's beautiful, but it's kind of complicated to actually clutter it up in the way that I like it. But I did that for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks really tedious.
So we're gonna leave you with the video tour of the house, and thank you for listening, and hopefully see you next time.
Yes. Goodbye.
Love you, bye!